Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, is yours truly. I'm the franchise. With me, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, King Tuco. Brother, how you doing?
Man, doing good, man. So we got a special guest in the building with us today, man. So let's go ahead and introduce this, sir.
Well, today we got Impact Wrestling superstar. He is the French Canadian Frankenstein, PCO. PCO, how you doing, brother?
Hey, very good. Yourself?
Doing good,
Doing
doing
great,
good.
man. Doing awesome.
Couple of housekeeping notes. We're going to talk about quite a few things, but the one thing I want to make sure we definitely get in, we have the upcoming TNA Hard to Kill pay-per-view Saturday, January 13th. We also have the Snakeyes event the following night, Sunday, January 14th, both at the Palms of Las Vegas. Very excited. That card is set to feature Hard to Kill Trinity versus Jordan Grace for the Impact Knockout title. Alex Shelley versus Moose for the TNA World title. Snakeyes, we will see Will Ospreay make his TNA debut versus Josh Alexander. And then, of course, we got the six-man tag, the Motor City Machine Guns and Okada versus Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and Moose. PCO, what are your thoughts so far? How are you?
I'm very well. I'm really preparing. Very put a lot of the time for just on my preparation for Hard to Kill and just the new start with TNA. So I don't even know what to expect as far as like all the novelties that we may have, like new logos, where it's gonna be, how it's gonna be displayed. What it's going to look like, the visual of everything. So I'm very, very excited for Las Vegas, for Hard to Kill. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, with Hard to Kill coming up, of course, Hard to Kill is one of the staple events here in Impact Wrestling. But I want to talk about you. And speaking of staples, mentally, you've been stapled, you've been through thumbtacks, you've been set on fire. How do you, as a superstar, as a wrestler, how do you mentally prepare yourself for something like that, knowing the amount of pain you're going to, endure during a match and already knowing before you go into it, like, this is what I have to look forward to?
I think, I was brought up like with liking the pain and like, all pretty much all my life, like I've been doing like pretty crazy stuff. Like if I had a bike when I was a kid, so I was trying to jump all kinds of things, and it was always a daredevil. So I kind of stayed, and then it's just it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain how do I feel when I'm in a match and I have things like that to do. My mindset, how it is. It's I'm really living like he's not human, and I'm really living the French Canadian Frankenstein, the Frankenstein thing. It's so big for me. Like I wanted to have that shot because in the movie Frankenstein, you see some shots where he's stapled, and I really wanted to have that shot because I want to get as close to the roots of that character as possible. So, and I think that with Impact Wrestling in the last 2 years, they have done a tremendous job to creatively to enhance, to transit the character was always, he's not human, it was always the same name, but I think the makeup, the outfits, there's always a little bit more, and so it's really exciting because it seems to me like it keeps on growing. It's not even close to what I had envisioned as far as the character goes. Like there's so much more mileage out of it.
King.
As someone who has been previously in TNA and has returned, excuse me, what is it for you to see the younger talent of today in this business, the hunger, the drive, and what motivates you, for being the OG that you are, that has been in this game for so long? What motivates you to want to continue to go with these young guns?
Well, it's for me, it's all about goals. You know, it's all about achievement, personal achievement. It's not just I want to be there because I want to be there. It's because I there's a force in me
Mm-hmm.
that drives me there. There's that voice that says, you know, you have so much more. You're not arrived yet. You're far from being arrived. You have more. You have things to conquer. You have things to accomplish. I feel like I'm a very connected person, and I feel like I haven't reached my full potential yet. And I don't know. I don't know. Are you into movies a little bit?
Yeah,
Yes.
very much so.
Uh, have you? You probably haven't watched because it's maybe you did, but it's a new movie on Netflix. It's Diana Nyad. She's a swimmer,
I've
and
seen it. I've seen the title for it. Yeah.
she wanted to swim from Cuba to Florida,
Yeah.
103 miles.
Whew.
And at 28 years old, she couldn't do it. And then like 25 years later, she's like 60, 61. She goes, I'm gonna do it. Like I said, that's my purpose in life. I'm gonna achieve that. I'm doing it. And she failed like at 28 years old, and she failed at 61, 62, 63. I think she finally at 64 she made it. But
Man.
you know, it was a learning process where you know she would get like jellyfish, she would paralyze, she would like the sharks, all kinds of. She needed a suit, all kinds of things, you know, navigator and things like that. So uh, I really relate to something like that, or to someone like George Foreman, or to you know people like that, where you know they you feel that you have something unachieved, and you don't feel like it's too late. You feel like it's time to do it. So it's go time. So it's,
So what is it that how can you, someone who's been in the game, still like what are you doing for yourself that keeps you in your top form to be able to still do it?
oh, there's a lot. You need so much more discipline. I mean, there's no. For me, it's always like I don't drink. I'm really like check all my food. I train very like differently. Like I train like hard, but very differently.
Mhm.
Not just trying to build muscle or anything like that, but a lot of things that you don't think usually. And I, you know, I'm in bed pretty early. I'm up super early, so I'm always in the gym the first time. I'm always in the gym around like 5:36. It's my first workout of the day when I'm not working. But it's just a discipline, very disciplined.
Yes. Awesome. Gotcha.
And there's no like we're going to party for 3 days in a row, or we're going to the
Say no more
bar
of those days.
all night long. Like even with the boys, like even sometimes they you know they like to have a couple of beers at the end of a big show, you know, just to relax. And I'm always heading to my room, like not that I want to be savage or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it's just part of being focused and just to concentrate on my job. And I don't want any. I don't want to be caught up in anything that's gonna take my focus off. So yeah, I'm always I'm always thinking about the business and how can I improve. What can I do better? How can I be more effective or whatever. So it's constant work, you know,
Awesome.
on my character and on myself.
Speaking of working on yourself, working on your character, and staying disciplined, right? Especially with the younger time, when you're younger, you know, you think you're invincible, right? And you think, you know, nothing can really phase you, or you can make it out of whatever. And there's been a lot of crashes and burns, you know, not just
Oh
in the
yeah,
wrestling business, but in real life as well. How do you,
no, yeah.
how do you, as an established veteran, kind of toe that line between being a peer but also being a mentor to the younger talent as well without necessarily overstepping?
I'm not overstepping, and I'm not saying anything to anyone, and I'm not trying to be a mentor. If I am a mentor, as by example, if I am,
Yes.
like I've got a lot of comments sometimes on messengers or on any Twitter, whatever the platform is, where you know you inspire me. I'm inspired by you. Like I wanted to do this. I had quit this, but now I'm gonna give it another shot. Things like that. That's how I feel like I could be a mentor by my action. Not, but
Mhm.
I'm not a big talker, and I'm not, you know, because you can't get caught up. The danger is where I remember, like growing up in the business, you like to have the inputs from a veteran, but at the same time, you're saying, well, he doesn't understand because he's from another generation. So you don't want to get caught up and where you look like you're past you're not
Yeah.
there. So
Right.
you have to be aware of what's going on right now, and not to be caught up and this nothing is good because in my time it's not the way we were doing things, but it's not my time, it's the time that it is now,
Yeah.
and you have to adjust. you know with every change in life you have to adjust, and I just adjust. I'm not trying to come back with the old school mentality. I'm just adjusting with whatever it is. It's my job to adjust. It's not their job to adjust to me. It's me to adjust to the younger generation.
Speaking of the younger generation, when you look at some of the guys that's in Impact now, or TNA, excuse me, you have Moose and you have Josh Alexander. You have these guys that have this massive power, this build, and they look. Who are some of the guys that you are looking for? Like you want to get into the ring with, and just you want to knock them around a few times.
Well, no, I've watched a bunch of. I've watched two of the last two match of Will Ospreay. Uh, his last stint, the last time he came,
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling, and I. It's crazy how I've watched him before. Uh, New Japan Pro Wrestling, like a few years ago, and we were on the same show with GCW. I think back 2018, and I think he was wrestling Riddle, Matt Riddle, and that's when I was wrestling Walter. I was on the same card or same day, something like that. But I just feel like he's so more complete as a wrestler. That's someone I would like to have a match, like an important match with like with some something to some sort of a important match, with a guy like that. I think it would be amazing. I think my clash,
Mhm.
the way the style would clash, I think it could be pretty insane. But there's I don't like to pick just one name to say it, but I had that thought when I saw him. Uh, I think he wrestled a speedball one night, and the following night he wrestled. I think it was Josh Alexander, and I was just like having some visions of what I could have done if I had to wrestle with him. How cool it could have been. So yeah, I think he's super talented. That's going to be a great match for Hard to Kill, and yeah, really looking forward to see how they're going to exchange that time around, him and Josh Alexander.
Speaking of hard to
What is
kill, Will Ospreay, he's already wrestled for you guys, like you said before, but under the Impact banner. Now he's going to step
Yeah,
foot in the TNA
yeah.
side of things. For you, you already said hard to kill, Snake Eyes. Besides the name change, and I'm pretty sure some aesthetic changes, what's your vision for Impact, and now going back to TNA moving forward. Because the one thing I've noticed with TNA, you guys have done a really great job of running smaller venues, but those venues are just as loud, just as ruckus, just as enthusiastic, and it comes across not only in person but across the TV as well. Do you see TNA eventually going to bigger venues as time goes on, or do you think you guys pretty much narrowed your shooting style and just production value wise, it's better to stay in the smaller venues and arenas?
No, I think the goal will be to go to bigger venues, but not maybe for like not for the maybe not right away for all the TV tapings,
Yeah,
but I would say like uh, just like Hard to Kill. Like before we were at Sam's Town. This time
yeah,
it's at the Palms. So it's a different building. It's a nicer place. It's a bigger place. It's everything is different. So I think there'll be some major ones during the year where that's one of the differences you're going to see with TNA, and I think also the fact that a lot of people, even when it was just Impact Wrestling, people would call it TNA,
hmm,
and I feel like the lineage of the TNA too uh, is is even though it was like the same, but it looked like it was like two different companies. But now
yeah,
it feels like Impact Wrestling is like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, and TNA is like WWE or whatever. If you
yeah,
want to compare
Right.
it, or AEW with Collision, whatever the names could be. But it just feels like just a bigger name altogether. It's a more well known, you know, across everybody. Like everybody knows TNA. So I think there's that vibe there where there's something special about those three letters. Something big, something special, something unique, something uh, it rings a bell for different names, different act pay-per-views that were held under that name and things like that. So I think it's the nostalgia effect is big too. The lineage, the nostalgia effect, and the direction that
Mhm.
the company's going like you know I feel like you don't have to lose like 40 millions a year to grow your company or whatever. You can grow your company
Mhm.
or you can grow a company uh, wouldn't being like with still making money with it. You don't have to lose money every year in order to build something. It could be something that you build uh, more, like I would say, solidly and constantly
Mhm.
instead of just trying to go sign everybody and go big right away. I don't think you can buy time. I don't think you can step on time. I don't think you can say because I've got money, I'm going to shave 10 years or 15 years of what someone else would have done. I mean, in a way you can because you need money to make money, but I don't think it's just a matter of money. I mean, there's so many places where you have to be careful when you're on growth, when you're growing something, whatever business it is.
Before we get you out of here, sir, I just want to ask one good time for the fans and for the people, man. Could we see a PCO TNA world title run? Is it in you that you want to show these people, you want to show
Yeah,
these young whippersnappers and everybody else,
yeah, yeah.
what you can do? Okay.
It's there for sure. It's there for sure. You're asking me why I'm still here. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. Like and uh, yeah, it's just and I don't feel like I'm the one who decides. I feel like it's something super strong inside of me,
Hmm.
and I have no no say over it or no call over it. It's just It's like you can't stop a tree to grow. It's just growing. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's just there, and it's bugging me. You know, in a way, it's bugging me. Not that it's bugging me where I hate it. It's bugging me in a way where I have to go with the flow. I have to go with it and just make the best out of it. I'm just trying to, you know, perform as the best as I can, and be creative, and give the fans like something like a very unforgettable like moment when they come to see TNA. But when it's the time with you see PCO, I want them to grasp that moment and to go home with it and to say, you know what, that character is, you know, something that I can't forget or that I will remember for, you know, for a long time because it's so special. There's something about it, you know. So that's where I want to bring that to a certain level where it's like, wow, that was something else.
Awesome, man.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
absolutely. Well, PCO, we
PCO,
know you got
and they World Champ in 2024. Here it comes.
we absolutely PCO again. Thank you for taking the time to come join us today. Again, we got Hard to Kill Saturday, January 13th, TNA Snake Eyes Sunday, January 14th at the Palms of Las Vegas. Before we get out of here, PCO, where can people find you on social media and how can people find tickets to the event?
Yeah, on Twitter or X, it's at PCO is not human. Same thing on Instagram, PCO is not human. My Facebook, it's a personal one. It's Pierre Carl Ouellet. It's full. I've got 5,000 friends, and I got a TikTok where I'm not big on TikTok, but I got about 10,000 followers around that. So. It's yeah, I don't post very often. I'm not very active on TikTok, but I peek in once in a while. I go check it out, and I post sometimes
Don't
once in
we
a
all?
while. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us here on the Generation of Wrestling. I'm the franchise. He's the king, and he is PCO. PCO, thank you once again,
Hey,
brother.
thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Talk to you soon.